Hello, DIY Dad here. Right, I'm sitting next to the fire again today because it's taken us this long to actually achieve what we're trying to achieve, which is leaving the UK. When we decided in January that we were going to leave the UK quite quickly, we had the fire on because it was cold. And then we've been through months and months of significant problems to the point where we've put the fire on again. Uh, so when people say, how easy is it to, change your life completely and leave the UK? For some people, it's really simple. For other people, like us, it's just, it's not good. Trying to pull your life apart, so everything you know, change everything and leave and plan to go somewhere. It's incredibly difficult. I don't think anybody understands unless they've actually tried to do it. So what I'm going to do is quickly go through. I'm not going to go into details because you don't need to know details about things. I'm just going to give you an overview of where we thought we were going to be and where we are. Because we're just absolutely nowhere near where we should be. So in January, we came up with this plan. We're going to leave the UK for various reasons. Now, since we've actually decided to do that, the UK has changed immeasurably in the time that we've decided. There's things that weren't even in the running when we decided to do this. Things like digital IDs have now almost about to be released tomorrow, like the test for them. And when we decided to go, that wasn't even on the cards. We didn't know anything about it. So the country's changing at a massively accelerated rate at the moment, to the point where we have no idea what's going on in this country anymore. It's not the country I grew up in, and we just want to leave, but we're trapped at the moment by the system, and we have been all this time. It's really frustrating us now. So let's quickly go through. So firstly, we put the house on the market. We sold immediately through a private buyer. We didn't even go online. If somebody wanted to buy the house previously, we went all the way down the line. It took like 3 or 4 months. It's far too long, to the point where we couldn't get them to move. So then we ended up giving up with them and going back on the market again. I took a week and got the house all dolled up again, and then we sold within a week again. And now we've gone through the process again, and we're back to the point where we're just waiting and waiting. So the majority of this time has been us trying to just, not sell the house, because we sold the house twice really quickly. It's trying to push the process through to the end, because the solicitors and estate agents, they're just glacial. It's like, I don't know what's going on, but if they were paid by the hour, there would be billionaires. That's what it's like. So we're trying to push through the last bit for the second time. The other thing we've been struggling with is my daughter has a couple of teeth, which are adult teeth, which are actually rotten, not her fault, not to do with eating or sugar or any of these things. They're faulty teeth when they first came through. And the dentist caused a problem by hurting one of her teeth, and then she would never open her mouth again. So we've been to about 15 dentist appointments where she wouldn't do anything. We've been privately. We've tried everything, to the point where we ended up on the list for her actually to be knocked out with general anaesthetic. And that list is just so long. It got to a point where they couldn't tell us how long the list was because it was so long. And who knows why we pay for, we pay for this service. And it's just appalling. And this is the one thing I thought was going to get us stuck here for longer. We've managed to get on the list for like December time to have this done now. That's after 3 years. So all of this it's really sort of like trudging around in treacle, trying to get answers out of people, and trying to get any dates or anything out of anybody is almost impossible. So we've got the double house sale, and we've got the teeth that have been the massive problems. So in all of this, we've actually had an almost empty house at one point. We were sleeping on the floor for 3 months. waiting for it to go through. And when it all fell through, we ended up going and buying more beds, starting all over again. So the house is filled up with a little bit more stuff again. And now we're waiting for that date to be set in stone where we can just get rid of everything and start again. We sold my wife's car. And now I'm in the process of actually sold my van, which I used for work when I did forestry. I don't need it anymore, but we need a vehicle. What we're going to do is buy a vehicle, the cheapest vehicle we can find. So we're talking like between 500 and 800 quid. So we're doing that at the moment, and that's not very easy to do. So we've spent some time doing that, and in hindsight, we should have kept the other car because it wasn't actually worth that much money. This is what's happened, this circle of problems that have gone round and round, and it's all caused by us waiting for other people all the time, and systems not working. So it's costing us money. We had a house full of stuff, and we did 5 or 6 car boot sales, and all of the money we made for that is gone in us living, because I left work in May because we were imminently going to leave, and that's just not happened. So now we've been stuck in our little treacle drive, let's call it, and we're just waiting, and we're just waiting. So we look at where we're going, we've got a plan. I've spent the time teaching myself about investments and what we're going to do and trying to work out ways of making money. But if someone says to you, why don't you just leave? Try it, and you'll realise that it's just not easy, and nobody will tell you, that you're doing the right thing. Everyone says, wow, that's fantastic, I'd love to do that, but. So we're the 1% of people that have said, that but doesn't matter. Whatever happens, happens. We're going to go and do it, but we feel like we've been literally pushing lorries uphill the entire time. It's just such a difficult thing to do. And partly I think some of this is because the system is not designed for people like us. It doesn't want us to do this. So we're taking ourselves as people that are working, we're taking ourselves out of the system, and that means that for them we're not now making, the system any money. A system that makes you buy a house, which you then don't spend much time in because you're at work all of the time to pay for it. So a system that wants you to put your kids into school so they can become little drones, and then come back into the system to earn money for whatever. So the system is designed to keep you in, and trying to break out of that system, we have found, is getting more and more difficult. And every time I look at the news and see something else ridiculous that they're planning to do, I just think, this is another way of stopping people escaping. But we will escape, we will get there, and you will see it on here when we finally leave.